Hello again, everyone. As per our last lesson, I promised I would make a quick tutorial on precision drawing. So here we go. I'm in Rhinoceros, and I'm not going to worry too much about the units that I'm working on. But let's just say for now I'm going to do small objects inches. So I'm double clicking on this to open up a new Rhino file. And we're still just working in top, so let's maximize top by double clicking on the tab. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. The first thing I'm going to do is bring in my reference image, so I'm just going to punch in picture in my command line, enter. And let's see, I think I put this on my desktop, there we go. And I'm just going to place it right here and move it to the side. Okay, so that's my reference image. And the other thing I'm going to do right now also is I'm going to actually just switch off my grid. So I'm just going to type in grid, and I'm going to say, I'm going to unclick show grid and maybe unclick show grid axes, and done, just so I have a bit of a clean file to work with. Okay, great. So I'm not going to bother with layers or anything else right now, because this is really an exercise for you to work with your O-snaps and to work with precision modeling. All right, so there are several ways to do that, but I think what I'm going to do, the immediate thing I see here is that I have two circles. This one has a radius of 3, this one has a diameter of 3, and I have another one right here, and the centers of these two are 8.5 apart. So I could mirror one of these. So let's go ahead and do that first. So I'm going to type in circle. I'm going to click anyway, it doesn't really matter. So let's do the inside circle first. So I can see it's a diameter of 3. I have to make sure I have this set to diameter. If I wanted to change it to radius, I would just click here, but let's click on diameter again. And I'm going to change that to 3 and press enter. And there's my first circle. Okay, now I can see that this is much larger than my image, so just for my own sanity, I'm going to make that a little bigger so that I can actually see what I'm doing and nothing looks too out of balance. That's just for myself, but you don't have to do that. So the next circle I'm going to make is this one here that has a radius of 3. So I'm going to type in again circle. And the center of my circle is the center of this one, so I'm just going to hover. Make sure you have your center O snap. I'm going to hover until I get my center snap. And now you can see I'm still set in diameter, so I'm going to click on radius and punch in 3 and enter, and there we go. All right, so now I want to create this line here so that I know exactly where 8.5 is from the centroid of these two circles. So let's go ahead and type in line. So this is just a little construction line that I will delete after. I'm going to hover here till I get to center. There we go. And now I'm going to say end of line. I'm going to type in 8.5 and enter. And you'll see that that will constrain my line. And I want to have it be perpendicular. So I'm holding down shift, which constrains my line in 45 degrees. So there we go. And now what I could do is just recreate these two circles right here, but I'm just going to go ahead and select these two and type in mirror. I'm going to find the center, the midpoint of this line, and I'm going to hold down shift and click, and now you can see that I just mirrored that circle. Okay, so the next one, I see that once again I have 8.5 here, so let's draw another line. I could use that same line, but let's just do this again. So from this end point, my end of point is 8.5. See, it's going to constrain my line, hold down shift and enter. My inside circle has a diameter of 2.5, so circle. There's the center. And I'm going to type in, we're in radius, so make sure you type in diameter, 2.5, enter, there we go. And this one here has a diameter of 4, so I can just press spacebar. The center is here, and my diameter is 4, and enter. Okay, I don't need these two lines, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that now. I can delete that later too, but I'm just going to do it now. Let's move this over a little bit. Okay, so now all I need is to connect these lines. And as you can see from the image, they're all tangent to the quadrants or tangent to the curves of these circles. So what I can do is I can type in line and then make sure you select a tangent here. Click on tangent. Here's the start of my line. You see that little blue line there? It's telling me I'm tangent. So I'm going to click. Then I'm going to go here until I'm tangent again. I don't know if you can see that blue line there. And there it is. And I can now just press spacebar because I want to repeat that command. And now I'm going to actually just type the word T and enter. So now I know tangent to tangent, spacebar, T, enter. Tangent from here to here. Oh, see there I made a mistake. That's not tangent. So let me delete that and do that one more time. So line, T for tangent, make sure I'm tangent here. And I'm just going to switch off my quadrant here because I just want the tangency. And let's zoom in a little bit. There it is. Sometimes if you have too many O snaps on, it can get a little hard. So for instance, maybe I don't want point near and end, just center, midpoint. I could also have tangent on in this case. Let's draw one more line. T, enter, tangent. Oh, see, it's giving me some issues there. Tangent and tangent. So now what I'm going to do is put in my dimensions. So I'm going to type in dim and enter. And I want to know the dimension between the center of this circle and the center of this circle. So I'm going to go here till I see center, and then here to center, and I'm going to drag that down 8.5. Let's do that again on this side. So now I can just type in space, dimension from here to this center, 8.5. Great. Now a few more dimensions. So let's do dim radius, and I'm going to just click everywhere, spacebar, radius here, spacebar. Do we have another radius? No, we have them all. Now I want to do a dim diameter. I want the diameter of this circle here, spacebar, this circle here, spacebar, this circle here, and lastly this one here. Okay. Now, if you're someone who cares about how all these look, if you don't care, you can leave it like this. But if you'd like to change the type, the font size, or your arrow size, or customize that, that's very easy to do. I'm just going to type in settings. This is all in your settings, and enter. And you'll see you can change the settings for this file. Settings like what units am I in. Later on, we'll look at some of these other like line types. You could change some line types. I did show you some hatching. We'll look at that later again. Here's also where I can change my grid. But what we want right now is annotation styles. So you can create a new annotation style or just change this one here. So you can change your font type, the height. So right now the height is set to 1. Let's see what that looks like. I think I'm going to make it a little smaller, so maybe I'll make this 0.5. And I'm fine with text gap. And let's also maybe change our arrowheads. So you see I can change this to a dot. Maybe I want a thinner arrow, so I can change that as well. And I'm also going to change my leader arrow, so that's over here. So let's change that to the thin arrow as well. And when I click out of this, you'll see that all my settings have changed. And there you go. And that's the exercise for next week.